Okay, good morning to all. I will start the session. So, in the last 3 days, day 1, day 2, day 3, we discussed different introduction topics along with how do we install JDK for execution of Java program. From today onwards, we will move in depth and coming to the original syllabus. So, here our first topic is generally, I think the identifiers variables are also some basic terms are completed, not in detail. So, directly I move to the first topic, data types. So, 1 second, I will increase the font size. Yes. So, my topic is data types. What is mean by data type? Simply, it specifies the type of information stored in a variable. For example, we consider different types of variables. For example, A is equal to 3, B is equal to 3.4, like this. So, different types of information are stored in the variable. Generally, this data type is used to specify which type of information a variable can hold. For example, generally we know A3 integer variable, 3.4 float variable like this. My data types is divided into two types. One is primitive data type. Second one is non-primitive data type. Okay. Actually, everything slides is already designed. Thing slides is already designed, but ఇలా చెప్పుకుంటే easy ఉంటుంది కదా. So primitive data type, and the second one is a non-primitive data type. Okay. Again, primitive. What is the term primitive? Primitive in the sense a variable can hold only single value. If you consider any variable, if a variable can hold only single value, such type of variables are called primitive variables. Generally, the type of data is called primitive data type. And also, primitive, another meaning is these are the basic data type and compulsory data type. If you want to create any other data type, compulsory you need the primitive data type. Now, okay, primitive meaning is a variable or a data consists of only a single value. Different types of primitive data types are: first one, integer; second one, floating; third one, character; and finally, fourth one, Boolean. Fourth one, Boolean. These are the four primitive data types. So here, all these data types holds only a single value. Coming to non-primitive data type, the name itself specifies non-primitive. So that means these are not compulsory and these are not basic data type. It can hold any number of values. Here a variable or a data type can contain any number of values. For example, different non-primitive data types are class, interface, enum. So not only this, suppose arrays, strings, we have many non-primitive data types. First, our topic is this one, primitive data types. Step by step, move to each and every one. Coming to integer. This is my first topic. So what is mean by integer data type? If any variable holds only whole numbers, integer data type is called. Generally, this is a numeric data type. Here, observe the integer and floating are numeric data types which are used to store a value, to store a number in a variable. At the time of storing a number, we have two types of numbers. One is a number without any decimal point. In our mathematical term, whole numbers. Another one is with the decimal point. That is called real number. Now, based on the whole number and real number, I categorized into two things, integer and float. Integer holds wholly whole numbers. That is numbers without decimal point. Numbers without decimal point are called whole numbers. Clear? Second, before going to the floating, now I will explain what is the data types. Here integer is a broad term to represent all types of whole numbers. Here different keywords, different data types that are available under integers are byte, short, int, and finally long. These are the four different categories that are present under integer in Java programming language. Remember, language to language there may be vary. In Java programming language, to represent whole numbers or to represent integer, I have four data types. Originally, these byte to, short to, int to, long. All these are data types. Now, what is the need of four data types for representing a whole number? The concept is simple concept, only whole numbers. Then the question is, what is the need? The main need for is, for example, I will explain. Move to this one. For example, what are the things? Byte, short, into long. Why you are using in the sense depending upon the memory. For example, assume your class strength is some 60 members. Your class strength is some 60 members generally. If you have a room of capacity some 100, if you have room of capacity 100, we have many rooms. We have different capacity rooms. For example, if all the 60 members coming to the college, the 60 members are placed in this room, but there is a wastage of 40 places. There is wastage of 40 places. For example, we have another, suppose 60 members are available and one 200 capacity room is also available, 100 capacity room is also available. That means the number of rooms are many things with different capacities. Now if one more 60 members come in, which room we are allocated? Only 100. If you are allocating the capacity 200, the wastage of 140 spaces. Or else, for example, for a college, only 5 members at this particular time, only 5 members are coming to the college. For that 5 members, randomly I change. Instead of assigning the capacity 100, I assign some another capacity, suppose 50 or 20. Now observe the point carefully. Here, what is that one? Depending upon the number of persons, we are allocating the room. We are allocating the room. Why? To save the space. Exactly. Integers in the sense, if it is a whole number, for example, consider a simple scenario. Consider a simple point. A is equal to 5. Here 5 is an integer. How a number is stored in the memory? Any number is stored in the form of zeros and ones, compulsory. Zeros and ones. For example, if my data type is integer, int a is equal to 5. This is called declaration. Remember the point. Before using a program variable, first we have to declare the variable. So int a is equal to 5. Now, obviously the next question is how much memory is allocated. Very important. Remember the thing. The only basic things you have to know in any programming language is for anything, how much memory is allocated, in which memory location the variable is stored. If you know those basic things, it is very easy. How much memory is allocated? This is depends on Java programming language. Consider Java. In Java, for integer, 4 bytes of memory is allocated. 4 bytes of memory is allocated. 4 bytes in the sense total 8 into 4. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Total 32 bits of memory is allocated. Now, understand, whenever you declare a statement like this, total 32 bits of memory is allocated like this. Total 32. In the 32 bits, the value 5 is stored. The value 5 is stored. What is the binary representation of 5? 1, 0, 1. 1, 0, 1. So all remainings are zeros. The left side always zeros. So that means 29 zeros. Only 3 bits are used for storing my number. Only 3 bits are used for storing my number. Observe wastage of memory. Wastage of memory. So obviously you got an idea. To reduce the wastage, then we are moving into short data type. We are moving into short data type. So the size of short data type is 2 bytes. 2 bytes in the sense 16 bits. 2 bytes in the sense 16 bits. For example, 101. Here the wastage is only 13 bits. So compared to integer, short has very advantage. So here we are declaring like this. Short A is equal to 5. Again we have wastage of 13. Again, if possible, reduce. So the next data type is byte. The name of the data type is byte. Suppose byte A is equal to 5. So the size of byte data type is only 1 byte. So 101 5. So observe why you are using different data types to save the memory. Remember blindly if you are using int for all the variables, even though the program is correct, but it wastage of memory. Once you are the best programmer, you are the coder, you have to utilize the memory efficiently. Okay. Now the point is depending upon sizes. Why? We have many number of this one byte. It requires only 1 byte of memory. Short. It requires 2 bytes of memory. Integer. It requires 4 bytes of memory. And the fast one is long. Why long? For example, if your number is a very large number, even 32 bits are not sufficient. That is also a case. Even these 32 bits are not sufficient to store the number. So for that situation, we are moving into the long data type. The size of long is 8 bytes. Okay. This is called integer. This is called integer. Now, so I think it is clear. Before going to the next one, I will explain one more point. The point is ranges. What is mean by range? Range, the name specifies some range of values. For example, consider byte. What is the size of the byte? The size of the byte is 1 byte. The size of the byte is 1 byte. 1 byte in the sense 8 bits. 1 byte in the sense 8 bits. Now, one simple thing, ignore this one. Everyone know the binary numbers. If I am given two numbers 0, comma 1. If I given two numbers 0, comma 1. How many possible combinations we have? We have only 2 bits. By using 2 bits, we have 4 combinations 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, right? For example, if I given 3 bits, the numbers are 0, 1 only. Why? Because everything is in the form of binary. Suppose if I given 3 spaces to you, how the 0, 1 stored? 0, 0, 0. This is one number, 0, 0, 1. 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1. Total 8 combinations. That means binary in the sense we have only 2 bits. If I am given only 2 bits of memory, it forms 4 combinations. If I given 3 bits of memory, it forms 8 combination. Suppose if I given 4 bits of memory, it gives obviously 16 bits 16 combinations. Simply, if you have 8 bits, what is the possible numbers? 2 power 8. Right or wrong? If I am given 2 space, 2 square, 3 space, 2 cube, 4 bits, 2 power 4. Exactly. What is the range? 2 power 8. But so I think this is clear. That means a total of 256 numbers are 2 power 8 in the sense approximately 256. Yes, not approximately, exactly. 2 power 8 in the sense 256. That means total 256 possible combinations are possible. 256 combinations in the sense what are the numbers? Here 4 combinations. 0, 1, 2, 3. 8 combinations. 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on 7. 16 numbers. 0, 15. Obviously, total 256 in the sense the first number is 0 and the last number is 255. This is called range. This is called range. How do you calculate the range? Based on the memory we are allocating. If you are using 1 byte of memory, that is 8 bits. So 2 power 8, total 256 numbers from 0 to 255. Clear? Now, for example, if you are using short in the sense total 2 bytes, that is 16 bits. So 2 power 16 bits, right? 2 power 8. 2 power 16 in the sense, suppose 65,536, assume. Originally that is right. 65,000, some 536 approximately. That's many numbers are possible. Now, one simple question is, if you have any doubt related to this one, compulsory you have one question. That question is, what are the possible values? The possible values are from 0 to 255. For example, byte A is equal to 212. Is it possible to store the number? Why? It is possible. Why in the sense the number is in the range of 0 to 255. If the number is in the range of 0 to 255, it is perfectly possible. Now, finally, the next question is byte A is equal to suppose -5. Is it possible to store? No. Why? The range is only 0 to 255. Then what about negative numbers? Negative number is also a whole number without decimal point. Okay, again we have a question. Got the point? The point is the range is not only for positive numbers. Generally, at the time of memory allocation, they are divided into each and every data type two types: signed numbers, unsigned numbers. If a data type or if a variable is signed, then it can store both positive value, negative value. If it is unsigned, it can store only positive value. For example, byte A is equal to 5. It is valid actually. Why? Because by default, every data type is signed. Suppose byte A is equal to -5. Now this is valid. This is also valid. Why in the sense? By default, every data type is signed. Suppose unsigned. If you are using the statement like that, unsigned byte A is equal to 5. This is valid. Unsigned byte A is equal to -5. This is invalid. Understand the difference. Now coming to the range. So total 8 bits. Remember, among the total 8 bits, if it is a signed number, only 7 bits are used. Only 7 bits are used to store the data. 1 bit is used for to store sign, whether it is a positive number or negative number. So generally 0 represents a positive number, 1 represents the negative number, 1 represents negative number. Now, how the value 5 is stored? A, for example, how this is stored? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 1. 1, 0, 1. This is the 5 representation. How -5 is stored? 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. You got it? Only 7 bits are used to store the value. The last bit is for sign. Now, obviously, what is the range? How many number of bits we have? Only 7 bits. So, the range is 2 power 7, right? It is positive or negative? Positive 2 power 7, negative 2 power 7. So 2 power 7 minus 2 power 7 2 plus 2 power 7. If you write this one, minus 128 2 plus 128. Now it is right or wrong? It is right or wrong? 100% wrong. Observe carefully. So, in the previous example, you have total 256 numbers. How I written 250 numbers? 0 to 255. Generally, 0 is considered as a positive number. Now observe, here is 128 is right? No. Internally, minus 128, minus 127, and so on, minus 1, comma, 0, 1, 2, and so on, plus 127, right or wrong? Yes. Generally, for positive numbers, I am considering from 0, not I am. So the programmer consider that one. So what is the range? Finally, the range is minus 128 to plus 127. This is the way to calculate the ranges. To calculate the ranges. Okay. Not only for this one, for any type. For example, for integer. Integer in the sense minus. I will write down the ranges for all the numbers, then you will get the idea. For byte, what is the range? Minus 2 power 7 to 2 power 7 minus 1. Why? Because 2 power 7 in the sense 128, 128 minus 1 in the sense 127. For short, the range is 2 bits. Sorry, 2 bytes. Minus 2 power 15 to 2 power 15 minus 1. Suppose integer minus 2 power 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1. For long, long in the sense 8 bytes. 8 8 are 64. So minus 2 power 63 to 2 power 63 minus 1. It is very difficult to remember all these things. So basically we need how the process is implemented. We know to the basic byte and short. Okay. Now it's clear. These are the 4 data types. Only differences among the sizes. Here, one more very important point is, for example, here I will write down an example byte. I will write down example right now. From today onwards, you have to practice the programs. Whatever the program we written, you have to practice the programs also. Okay. So we already know how to write a Java program. First, class followed by the name of the class. Followed by name of the class. Generally, the class name starts with capital letter. So I am using the name as data type 1. For easy understanding, I am using the class name as data type 1. Now, open the flower bracket. Here the space is not mandatory. For easy indentation, I am using the space. The next statement is public static void main. I will explain all these things. Once the concept comes, I will explain all the things. Level by level, we will move. So today topic is data type. Remember, compulsory you have to practice data type. Then only we will move to the next topic in the next session. I will give you some assignment also for practicing. Now, here I declare the data types. Byte A is equal to some 5. Here, how do we declare the variable? Here, always our execution starts from main. Our execution starts from main. Here, I declare the variable inside a main. We have different types of variables. That is another matter. Byte A. Next one is short. Suppose B is equal to some 123. For simplicity, whatever the values. Now, int C is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every statement ends with a semicolon. Long, some D is equal to, it can store any long number. Remember, here the very important point is, by default, every number is considered as an integer number. Even though you are written long here, at the time of calculation, system consider this one as integer only, not long data type. So that is the reason for long data type you have to use L, either small l or capital L. That is your wish. Always remember, and if you are specifying the long, not a problem. Generally, if you are considering any integer variable, for example, here I am performing some calculation. 2 plus 3. Here, what is the data type of 2 generally? Now we assume that 2 is a small number, this is a byte. But no, 2 is considered as an integer type. 3 is also considered as an integer type. By default, every number is considered as integer type. So that is the reason to avoid the difference among that one. We are using the letter L at the time of declaration also. If either small or capital, whatever it is, either lowercase or uppercase. If I am using the letter, it's my program, yeah, letter L, then only it becomes the log number. Now, simply I perform some print statement, system dot out dot println. So what is the meaning? System. I already said system begins with the capital letter. That is a predefined class. Here string. It is a class. So generally class names begins with uppercase letter. Here what is the meaning? System dot out dot println. What is system? What is out? What is println? We will discuss later. For example, for simplicity, what is the meaning of dot? Assume like this for simplicity. Dot is considered as belong. So println belongs to out. Out belongs to system like this. Now I am printing the message. What is how to print the values? Ignore that one letter. First byte. Byte A is equal to plus A. So the syntax is we are printing like this. Observe how whatever the message that you want to print. The purpose of print statement is to print some output. So in the Java, not only in Java, any programming language within the print statement, if you are using quotation, if you are using quotations, exactly the same thing is displayed in the answer without any modifications. Now, the answer contains byte A is equal to this message is as it is printed. Now, after that, if you want to print the value, so the variables, generally the plus is symbol used for concatenation. That means this variable is concatenated with this one. That variable combined, concatenation is combined. Now Plus A in the sense the value present in the variable A is displayed. No problem. Even though you do not understand, right now by heart. Right now, you have to let the syntax system.out.println for printing the value. For printing the value. Now, if you want to print any message, return the message, write the message within double quotation, followed by plus, followed by variable name, followed by plus variable name. B, C, sorry, C, D. Here my message is long D, int C, short B. Okay, this is my program. Just to my program is reading four integer variables of different types and printing those values. You also practice like that. Remember, directly and blindly we are not going to the main program. Step by step we are adding. In the first level we are adding the class. Next level main. Step by step. First we are writing the simple variables and then print, and then we are adding different methods, and then we are step by step. Now you already know, again I am repeating. First I open the notepad. Some programs we will notepad. After that I will go to some eclipse also tool. So okay, save the program. Where? In your domain, that is the folder. I already created a folder here. Here in the D drive, I already created a folder. Save the folder. Save within the folder. So within the folder, my program name is, remember, save the program as class name data type 1 dot java, data type 1 java. Here select all files. Save. Okay, save the program in your required directory. Now what is the next step? Execute the program. For executing the program, command. So go to the command prompt. Here the path where the program is saved. So D:, cd space java 10 am. This is the batch. Okay, here for example you have many number of folders. In D drive we have ABC, under ABC BCD, under BCD. For example, for I am using some 5-6 folders. It is very difficult to type all these in CD space, CD space, CD space, right? For that we have a shortcut is also available. Simply this one D. Actually this is the path, right? In this location, you are storing your variable. At this location, you are storing variable. Simply click at this location. Observe, click at this location. There directly type CMD. Automatically, see this one? It opens with that path. You got it? Instead of typing the path, suppose at the time of typing the path, there is a spelling mistake. So everything, there is a lot of mistakes happen. Instead of that, directly within the windows, you open the path, type CMD here. Select this one, type CMD. Once you type CMD, automatically our required path is open. Where we are executing the program, Java C space data type 1 dot Java. Enter. See this one, automatically observe the dot class file is automatically generated. Two steps. The first step is compilation. One compilation is done, automatically dot class file is generated. Now Java space data type 1, it performs execution. Observe the output byte A is equal to whatever the message we are written, the exactly the message is displayed, followed by the corresponding values. Now A is equal to 130. Observe, what is the range? Generally, we assume that according to the calculation, the range is minus 128 to plus 127. But what happens? Save the program. Execute one more time. Java C. See the output. Error. Incompatible types. Error. Incompatible types. Possibly lossy conversion from integer to byte. You got the point? That means we crossed the range. Once we crossed the range, directly it is not possible. It is not possible. It gives an error. You got it? That is the reason you have to know the ranges. Based on the ranges only, we are assigning the value. Based on the ranges, we are assigning the value. Okay? Now, I save this program. Close. This is my first topic. So, under my first topic, integer, is everything is clear? Integer. Now, directly I am moving into the second one. What is my second one? Floating. So, floating holds real numbers. Floating holds real numbers. That means the numbers with decimal points. The numbers with decimal points. We have generally used two types, mainly three, but regularly only two types. One is float. The memory is 4 bytes. The second one is double. These are the data types names. Observe this integer. This floating is a broad category. You have to use these names. This byte to short to integer long. These are keywords only. All are reserved. So double. The size of double is 8 bytes. Now, what is my first question? The first question is, what is the default integer data type? The default integer data type is int. If you are not specifying, the default type is int. For example, I will execute the program once again. Suppose here I am not given any value. Just I declare the byte, but here I am printing the value. If you are assigning, then only the value is printed. But right now, here I am not given any value, but I try to print the value. But I try to print the value. So what happens? I will show you. Java C space data type one Java. Here's this one. Variable A might not have been initialized. That means we are not assigning any value. First of all, you have to assign the value. You have to assign the value. Clear? Yes. Now, close this one. What is my next topic? My next topic is under floating data type. Float has 4 bytes, double has 8 bytes. Here, what is the default? The default is integer. In this, similarly, for floating also we have default. Default is not integer, default float. If you are not specified anything, the default data type is floating data type. The remaining concept is completely same here. For float data types also, I will write down one more program. Each and every data type, you have to write the program, or else I already written the program. You can update. You can update. Suppose A is equal to some 5, like this. Float some f d is completed. Float some e is equal to 2.3654 f. Remember, for every floating point number, you have to, sorry, I said one wrong. By default, every number is double data type. Sorry, observe the modification. By default, every data type is double data type under real numbers. So that is the reason for floating point numbers you have to suffix with F. Either upper or lower, that is different. You can use anything. Double sum F is equal to 3.256789. This is the way. Now, system dot out dot println float is float is float is equal to E semicolon. Here observe capital S, capital S. Why? Because that is a class. System dot out dot println. Finally, the last one is double F is equal to plus F. Okay, so observe here we are using double data type and float data type. The double data type is written directly, but the float data type it is suffixed with F. Long we are using L, double we are using nothing, float we are using F. Float we are using F. Now execute the program. So here the mistake is, observe how to modify the mistake. Illegal line end in character literal. Here, instead of semicolon, I forgot to type the semicolon. Again, save the program, run this program. Now there is no errors. Simply the program does not. Java space data type one. Now see this one. These are the outputs. Whatever the given, we are given. Finally get the output. And the next one is what is the third one? The third one is character data type. Character data type. So under character we have only one data type, that is char. That is char. The size of character data type is 2 bytes. Here you have to know some information related to this character. This is not at all simple. Some information is required. Generally, C++. Before coming to Java, we know C++. There also character data type. In Java also we have character data type. In C language, the size of character is 1 byte. The size of character is 1 byte. In Java, the size of character is 2 bytes. Why? The question is simply why. Remember, whatever we entered using keyboard. So in my laptop, I have a keyboard. Through keyboard, I entered some letters. For example, A to Z. I enter the letter A to Z. Is A to Z is displayed? Yes. So whatever, for example, question mark, semicolon, star, whatever I entered using keyboard, that is a character data type. Even you number 1, 2, 3, generally that is also a character data type. Generally, each and every character has some integer number. Remember, generally character calculation is not possible. That is the reason each and every character is associated with some whole number. That numbers, I think you know what is that number. That is called ASCII. I think you listen the word ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. That means whatever the character we are given, that character has an equal integer number. For example, I entered the character A. How the system takes? System takes character A as 65. This is the integer number associated with capital A. Suppose capital B 66, small a 97, small b 98, and so on, whatever it is. Okay, so what is our main point? Each and every character, here I am speaking about in C language, each and every character has an equal ASCII. ASCII in the sense American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Observe, information, that is character is converted into integer. In which language, in which country used that one? American. Remember, from country to country it may change. Country to country it may change. For example, one country US ISO some 888 B9. One country used some ABC. So country to country changed. But in Java, Java supports Unicode number system. Unicode number system. What is Unicode? Unicode in the sense universal code. That means whatever the Java provides, that Unicode accepts ASCII, Unicode accepts Russia, Unicode accepts European, whatever it is, that is, all the codes are accepted by Unicode. You got it? Universal. That is the reason Java character takes 2 bytes of memory. Character takes 2 bytes of memory. 2 bytes in the sense same logic. 2 power 16, that is 2 into 8, 30, 2 into 8, 16, 2 power 16. That means minus 2 power 15 2 plus 2 power 15 minus 1. But generally, in characters, we have no negative numbers. Why? If you have negative number, that is not possible. Characters are ASCII values from 0 to only. Character is always unsigned, 0 to only. Suppose write the same program. Char some CH is equal to A. Remember, what is a character? A letter is placed in single quotation. You have to place it in single quotation. A letter is placed within single quotation, then that is a character. Suppose char CH is equal to A. So this is a character. Now print that one also. System dot out dot println of char CH is equal to plus CH. See this one? Char CH is equal to A is printed. Whatever you are given, that is printed. For example, if I entered minus A, observe what happens. See this one? Minus A. Error. Unclosed character literal. That means in single quotation, you are allowed only a single letter. You are allowed only a single letter. Why? Minus is the symbol that is entered through keyboard. That has an ASCII character. A has an ASCII character. Two ASCII characters is not possible to retrieve. So that is the reason here in this example, minus A is not possible. That is the reason a character can hold only a single value. Even no symbol is allowed. By default, everything is positive. So the character does not contain negative numbers. Does not contain negative numbers. And finally, the last one, Boolean. Boolean data type. It consists of only a single value. Generally, observe all the things, integer, byte, integer, floating, character, Boolean, whatever it is, all consists of single value. Why? All these are primitive data types. All these are primitive data types. Here, The data type is Boolean, small letters, Boolean. The size is 1 bit. Remember, not byte. It is only 1 bit. 1 bit in the sense Boolean specifies true or false. Generally, if it is true, the value is 1. If it is false, the value is 0. So for Boolean, only 1 bit is sufficient. For example, go to the program, Boolean, some E of G. Some G is equal to true. System dot out dot println Boolean is plus G. So remember, always I written some statement within the quotation. This is only for user understanding only. So whatever we are written inside the double quotations, exactly the same thing is printed. Exactly the same thing is printed. Now run this program. See this one? It takes the value true. It takes the value true. Boolean. So even though you assume that true, false to 4 letters, but that is not considered as a 4 letters. You can give false also. Suppose here I give it 1. Here I give 1. See this one. It is not possible. Why? 1 is a number. 1 is a number. Here I said true is 1, 0, false is 0. That is internal purpose only. Internally, system considers as a true as 1, false as 0. But externally, you have to write true and you have to write false. True and false, you have to write manually. See this one. Observe the type of error. Remember, based on the type of error, you have to rectify those errors. What is the error? Int, incompatible. Incompatible. That is, both two data types are not possible to compare. What are the two types? One is Boolean, second one is integer. Second one is integer. That is the reason it displays some error. Displays some error. Okay, these are the 4 basic and primitive data types. Yes. Is anything required? The data types is completed. Next topic is mostly we will begin the topic tomorrow. What is my next topic is typecasting. That is, I given 4 different types of data types. How to convert one data type into another data type. I will write down the tomorrow topic. Conversion from one data type into another data type. Next, the most important tomorrow, we entered into object. Object-oriented programming. The name itself specifies object. Everything in Python, everything in Java is an object. So, next our topic is what is an object, how to create an object. How to create an object. Once the object creation is completed, later that I will move to the concept of class. We already know what is a class. Simply a blueprint which consists of variables and methods. Variables and methods. Now, what is my topic? Under the class, what are the different types of variables? Static variable, instance variable, local variables. So, the most important topic in the tomorrow. So, but even though that is most important, you have to follow these things. Now, if required, you can practice the program like this. Suppose you can practice the program like this. Read a class. For example, read student details. Read student details. For example, student details in the sense name, name, any others. For example, age. For example, phone number and marks in 3 subjects. Perform total marks. Print the total marks like this. That means practice. What you are practicing? Name. How to read a name? How to age? Phone number. So marks. Suppose right now you don't know how to read a name. Right now you don't know how to read a name. Ignore that one. So why? Because to read a name we use using the concept of string. So right now we discussed only integers. So that is the reason age, phone number, some any other else is available in the form of integers to floats to and three subject marks. Suppose M1, M2, M3, calculate the total and print the average. Calculate the total and print the average. So try to practice. So what you have completed? This consists of age, that is integer types, marks are integer types, assume the total is also integer, average is in terms of floating point number. Average is in terms of floating point number. At least you will learn the syntax. At least you learn the syntax, how the things are going on. Okay. If you are unable to do this one, at the starting of the session, every day I given some practice program from today onwards. Every day, at least one or two programs. If you are not completed, if you are unable to write, tomorrow in the starting of the session, I will explain the program. If you have any errors, if you are unable to do this one, first to 5 to 10 minutes, I will solve the problem. Okay. Now, this is the today's session. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Any doubts? If you have any doubts, online. Okay, thank you. I will close the session. Thank you very much.